Thus boasted he, but in their trenches deep The hidden squadrons kept themselves from scathe. The curtain made of shields did well off keep Both darts and shot, and scorned all their wrath. But now the ram upon the rampire steep On mighty beams his head advanced hath, With dreadful horns of iron, tough tree great. The walls and bulwarks trembled at his threat. 100 able men meanwhile let fall the weights behind. The engine tumbled down, and battered flat the battlements and wall. So fell Taygetus hill on Sparta town. It crushed the steeled shield in pieces small, And beat the helmet to the wearer's crown, And on the ruins of the walls and stones Dispersed left their blood, their brains, and bones. The fierce assailants kept no longer close Under the shelter of their target fine, But their bold fronts to chance of war expose, And 'gainst those towers let their virtue shine. The scaling ladders up to skies arose, The groundworks deep some closely undermine. The walls before the Frenchmen shrink and shake, And gaping sign of headlong falling make. And fallen they had, so far the strength extends Of that fierce ram in his redoubted stroke. But that the pagan's care the place defends, And saved by warlike skill the wall nigh broke. For to what part soe'er the engine bends, Their sacks of wool they place the blow to choke, Whose yielding breaks the strokes thereon which light, So weakness oft subdues the greatest might. While thus the worthies of the western crew Maintained their brave assault in skirmish hot, Her mighty bow Clorinda often drew, And many a sharp and deadly arrow shot. And from her bow no steeled shaft there flew, But that some blood the cursed engine got, Blood of some valiant knight or man of fame, For that proud shootress scorned weaker game. The first she hit among the Christian peers Was the bold son of England's noble king. Above the trench himself he scantly rears, But she an arrow loosed from the string. The wicked steel his gauntlet breaks and tears, And through his right hand thrusts the piercing sting. Disabled thus from fight he 'gan retire, Groaning for pain, but fretting more for ire. Lord Stephen of Amboise on the ditch's brim, And on a ladder high Clotharius died. From back to breast an arrow pierced him, The other was shot through from side to side. Then as he managed brave his courser trim, On his left arm he hit the Fleming's guide. He stopped, from the wound the reed outtwined, But left the iron in his flesh behind. As Adamare stood to behold the fight High on the bank, withdrawn to breathe a space, A fatal shaft upon his forehead light, His hand he lifted up to feel the place, Whereon a second arrow chanced right, And nailed his hand unto his wounded face. He fell, and with his blood distained the land, His holy blood shed by a virgin's hand.